What is up, guys? We are back. Peach Fuzz Season 2, Episode 16. Just me and you. This is the first.
Oh yeah, I mean it's crazy that we're already talking about Final Four and then going into showcases and then summer's here before we know it.
Yep, it's here. I keep telling people with the schedule kind of changing this year, it's a bit of a mess trying to get things figured out. Like you said, summer's going to be here really next weekend, and we still have high school games going on. And then the following week, I think 5A, 6A ends on May 25th to the 27th. So yeah, we're getting a full month of May playoff baseball, but outside of that, it's been a treat. We'll go ahead and jump right into it. We won't be too crazy long today. Ian's out catching some bombs at the ABA conference tournament home run derby. They're having it at Lake Point, so we're going to be out there watching those guys a little bit this week in the mornings, and then getting ready to get out to games on Thursday night. So yeah, we'll jump into some Elite Eight recaps. We've been posting those recaps on the site. So if you missed anything there, we kind of go into full detail. If you haven't seen those, we break down standouts, key moments, and then kind of our takeaway from the game, whether that be first time seeing a team, some guys that popped up. For instance, mine with Pope. Pope's doing what Pope does, and so talked a little bit about that. But yeah, we recap all those games pretty much from every playoff game. We've been doing that, so you can go back and check in on those. So yeah, we'll jump into it. Elite Eight, Avery, what you got standing out? I know you were obviously out every day, even caught a Saturday game, or I guess you got a day off on Friday.
On Friday and then
But yeah, back at it on
Saturday.
Saturdays. Yeah, give us the rundown of your Elite Eight.
Yeah, so I started off with Kel at East Forsyth. This was actually my third time seeing Kel during the
Yeah.
playoff.
Shout out Kel. I was actually, before you get going, I was going through and looking at our classification rankings, just peeking at the Final Four, and there's really only two teams that we had slated outside of the top 10 to end the year, and that was Kel, and that was who was the other one? I think that was it, actually. I think it was just the one. And then Carrollton. So Carrollton finished the year in the top 10 with us. But yeah, that was really the only one. So shout out those guys making the run that they're making. But yeah, jump into that game.
I mean, honestly, I think it starts with coming from a battle-tested region. Like you have the defending state champs in BT, and then Centennial was in that region as well, and they
Playoff.
nearly beat Union Grove, who ended up in the Elite Eight, and then Cambridge nearly made it to the Final Four, but
Yep.
same thing there. So I mean, I just going back to that region, I think they're really battle tested, and it's like been a picturesque kind of playoff run for them. Like
Yeah.
two straight on the road, 3-game series, and then they ended up sweeping last week. But I mean, everybody's producing in the lineup 1 through 9. Dom Consolino's been huge as their game one. Brand's been huge on the mound.
Shout out Dom, who didn't even think he was going to play this year. I think that's true. He shot some photos for us at future games, and I thought he made a post saying he was going to go all in on pictures, but sure enough, he's out there leading the Longhorns to the Final Four.
Yeah, and he competes. It's low 80s, fills it up, pitches at the bottom of the zone, pitches the contact, gets whiffs when he needs it. He was actually perfect through 4 2/3 and like got to the last out, got 2 strikes on the kid, and the kid hit a single, and then ended up into the game next batter. But really
what kind of emotions is he bringing out there? Does he get pretty fired up?
I mean, just business,
easy.
Business
yeah, and that's how he was with us. He does some good photos. I'm sure everybody, people watch, I'm sure they've seen his stuff. But yeah, I didn't peg him to be as a big, fiery guy, but yeah, easy killed lefty that comes right at you is always good to have in the arsenal for Kel.
Yeah,
and East has had. Shout out to East having the year that they've had. They've really put it together. They came in and kept beating good teams. Was it by a run? A lot of the times I feel like, sure, but a win's a win. They got the wins when they needed them. Had Barden and Gibson, like we talk about, leading the way for those guys, and then they just had a bunch of hitters in that lineup. So, shout out to those guys for a good season.
And I think Evan Brand is at 19 hits now across 3
Yeah.
series. That's pretty silly.
Yeah, what was this full stat line?
19 for 26 or 27?
18 for 29 with 8 RBIs, 5 walks, 13 runs scored, 6 doubles, and then he's also thrown 15 and 2/3 innings and has 2 wins during the playoffs on the mound with 1 earned run. So playoff brand's different.
You know what you're going to get with him every time out. So it's instant tone setter there at the top. And I've really been impressed with Preston Bottoms last series.
Yeah, came to preseason, right? And he's really been making a run at it.
Yeah, I think he had 3 or 4 hits across the day. Bomb, that was a big part of the Game 2 win. Brock Burris has been raking. Had 3 or 4 hits in that doubleheader as well. I'm trying to think. And then Bibby there in the heart of the order, Jaden Bibby. Gary Buchanan's been huge for them. Really flips the lineup over. He's really good action behind the plate. I think he threw out 2 or 3 guys, and in that
they run. That East runs a lot,
and he shut them down. But I mean, I think they're gonna give Cartersville everything they can.
Yeah, that'll be a good matchup. That's intriguing for sure. 2 teams that had their fair share of losses early on, but like you said, battle tested. Cartersville ran the table in the region and playing the good baseball when it counts. So yeah, that was your Wednesday game, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my Wednesday game. I went out to Bremen versus Vidalia. I need to look back. I can't remember when I was actually at Bremen in the playoffs, but eerily similar situation. Obviously, we had the rain coming in last year. They got 1 game in and then got delayed. And sure enough, same thing happened this year. Everybody was like, "Dude, why'd you show up? We got delayed last year when you came." And anyways, they ended up getting 1 game in. Actually, got in more than I thought they were going to get in. We were kind of changing plans, trying to make some stuff happen. But yeah, went up to Bremen, or over to Bremen, I should say, for Vidalia. 2 teams that we really liked all season long. We saw them 3 times at Dugout Club, so we didn't really check back in on them throughout the spring. But yeah, start with Bremen. I mean, Carter Allen, player of the year for that region. Went off at the plate. Obviously, does what he does on the mound, and squared off against a tough Vidalia lineup. This got 2 seniors in it with Veer Patel and Caden Ridge Nance, 2 left-handed bats that we've been really, really high on over the years, and they just always seem to produce. I think Caden had 4 hits across the 7 and 2 innings that we played. Led the game off with a pull side ground rule double off Carter. Went first pitch, I think, change up on him, and he was just kind of sitting on it. But yeah, Vidalia, super young team. Ryan Brantley really impressed. Were you down at the showcase with us at Dublin? I think we've talked about that before. You weren't there, were you?
I mean, I remember seeing Brantley at some point, but
yeah, this was like when he was like 13 or 14, and we were outside at the Southern Pines place. But yeah, totally different player from when we first saw him. Then he's looked really good. He looked the part this past summer and fall with Prime, but he looked really good. He had 2 hits off of Carter. Clay Mims is their catcher. Had a good day as well. I think he's on that Prime team, or was on that Prime team. But yeah, Carter gave up some runs early, but settled in and got some big outs when he needed to. I can't remember what was the score to that game 1. It was 7-3. 7-3. Bremen got that game 1 win. Braden Beckwith pretty much drove in nearly every run, or scored every run that game for Bremen. Came up really big in a lot of big situations. So yeah, he looked good. And yeah, we got out of there after that game 1. They played an inning, and then Vidalia bounced back and beat them the next 2. So they'll face off against Bleckley County. So yeah, that was my Wednesday game. Thursday, where did you head to Thursday? Did you go down south yet or no?
yeah. So Thursday was coffee at Brunswick doubleheader.
Made the trip down to Savannah.
Yeah, Just to start off, it was a pretty cool setup. Like it was all net, so it felt like you were
Dude, those people, I think I've
all up
seen
in
a
it.
video like that before, and it literally looked like those people were on the field.
Yeah, oh yeah, and like I think one of the first things Coffee did was like their catcher came out and was like just checking out the backstop, like kept throwing balls off of it. Like
It was
it,
net.
yeah, it was all net. Like I was like behind home and I thought I was gonna eat a couple, but yeah, it was a cool spot. But Brunswick, they just came out and kind of punched Coffee in the mouth. They put up 6 runs in the third inning. Brett Hickson
Hickton.
kind of in on that. That was one of my
That's
first
all.
like in-game looks at him. But I remember
Nice.
seeing videos from showcase settings. But
Yeah, I guess it has been a little bit since you've seen him, dude. He came up, I guess, fall of his 14U year, maybe 15U year, and I'm like, really, really like this kid. Just like the way he played. Had a handful of hits when I was watching him on the burn, and then we got him. I mean, funny enough, we got him and Wesley Roberson to come over to Coffee County for a preseason ID. In January. We went down there for an event, and Hickson and Roberson like put on a show in BP. Both hit like 5 or 6 balls out, and then we kind of followed Hickson, starting from there. But we'd seen a few Brunswick guys here and there in the past, but yeah, I was itching for you to get down there to see what all they had going on.
But yeah, I mean, just having a kid like that at the top kind of reminds me of having Brand almost.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah,
just
very similar
instant
players.
tone setter.
Yep.
He run like it's sneaky run tool, but
Explosive. Yep.
but yeah, he was killing the ball. Colt House in the 3-hole for them. He's going to Eskren. He's a really big piece for them on the mound as well. Had a big RBI double in game 1. And then I like Grant Moore out of the leadoff spot. He's a 3-sport athlete. He's a QB1.
Nice.
I think like one of the record holders there, but
Senior.
yeah, he. I mean, then again, another instant tone setter there. Really good bat to ball. Uses the whole field well. Plays good defense out in the outfield. And then freshman Brody Sapp is the only like underclassman in the lineup. Second base, left-handed hitter. It's really quiet setup. Bat to ball really stood out. Took really good ABs. I think that's definitely one we're gonna have to keep an eye on for the years to come.
Yeah. Yeah, sweet. I was anxious to hear about those guys. Obviously, they're just playing pretty, like you said, upper class heavy group. I saw they had what was the Augusta commit's name? Looked like he filled it up pretty good. Robinson. That was Robinson.
Yeah, it was upper 8s. Really missed barrels. Had a really good slider and change up to pair the fastball, but it's tough task in Loganville. But I think Loganville goes to Brunswick.
They do. Yep, they head down there.
And that place was packed. Like there was hardly any room to move.
Nice.
Because it's all like there's a lowered, like a bottom bowl area kind of, and then there's the stands, but there wasn't anywhere to sit in the stands.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I'm sure Loganville will travel well.
Oh, for sure. But yeah, what was game 1 was 10-0, and then game 2 was 6-1, I believe.
Yeah. Shout out to them with the season. I mean, they kept winning games down there, and we were kind of telling people were like asking us, how's Brunswick? And it's like, man, like surprisingly, like they're really the only team we truly like didn't get to see. So we had been itching to get down there to see those guys. We had planned on a Savannah trip early on in the year and just weren't able to make it happen. But yeah, glad you got down there to see them.
Yeah, and they're one of those teams that are like really well coached, swipe bags, play good defense. Like they're not going to beat themselves.
Yeah,
so I think it's a really, really good matchup between them and Loganville, who kind of play the same brand of baseball.
Yeah, those will definitely be fun to watch. It seems like a lot of those 5A 5A schools are in that similar bucket. Villarica, team you talked a lot on, you really like, very similar to Loganville. So yeah, for me, I jumped up to Pickens on Thursday. That was the first time I had gotten to see them this year. We had seen them a handful of times. You saw them 2 or 3 times. I think Ian saw them once. First look at AJ, since he's a upper 90s guy or a mid 90s guy. Needless to say, it was pretty electric. Sure enough, gave up a solo shot. That's the second time I've seen him give up a solo shot like that. And I was kind of messing with him, like, what's up with that? He's like, I know. I guess it's just my thing. Give up a solo shot and then strike out 13. So, um, yeah, he was good. That lineup kind of does what it does, especially those guys at the top with Robert Turner, Jennings Allen, Cam Jenkins, Starks, Rice. Those guys just hit. And then you get Everett and Truett Grubbs into the mix, and you kind of start piecing together a pretty powerful lineup. Matthew Davis Jr. down there at the bottom, kind of getting that thing flipped over. So I think Robert Turner led the doubleheader in hits for him, had a big double to get the game back tied in game one. Yeah, AJ was great, struck out 13. Duggan Malone, a kid that we got to see a lot of. I think he was actually at that same showcase that Ryan Brantley was at. So that was good to see him. He
Where did
really
we see that? We saw him this year too. Where at Georgia, maybe?
Mercer. No, Southern. He came over to Southern. Yeah, came to Southern. So yeah, he was low 80s up to 84, filled it up. I mean, really gave the Pickens lineup all they could really handle for the most part. I mean, they really had the one inning where they scored the 3 runs, and then outside of that, that was it. He kept them in it till the very end. They obviously just couldn't get much piece together off of AJ. AJ did have a couple walks here and there, and they had some chances, but he of course threw that big breaking ball when he needed to. So yeah, they got the sweep there. West Lawrence, pretty young team. They'll have a decent amount of guys returning next year, so we'll definitely get out to see those guys. JD Hogan's a guy that played a really good outfield. He's coming back from an injury, so they had him out there, made a couple diving plays. The center fielder, I got the wrong notebook, but he made a huge diving play right in the right center gap at the wall on Truett. Truett had a really good swing on it. Is that my mic doing that weird thing?
I don't know. Was it me?
No, I think it was mine. Oh no, it sounds okay. All right, sorry. No, we're good. I just checked it on there. But yeah, Pickens got the sweep there, and they will face off against Calhoun. So that'll be a really good matchup. Friday you had off. Friday I jumped over to Pope, which I was really excited about. Only my second look at Pope this year. Had Glen Academy traveling up to play. So I was excited to see them. We got out to see Glenn in the last round against Gainesville. And yeah, Pope just kind of did what they did. Jacob Israel got the start on the mound in game one, filled it up, low 80s, spun the breaking ball whenever really he needed to. Did get into quite a few jams, but made some really, really big pitches when he needed to. Pope ended up winning that game 6-0. Jensen Morneau came through with a big knock. Kingston had two hits that game. Kingston Jones played a really good second. Him and Wimbush up the middle are really fun to watch. Good to see Parker Trofton in center field. He's been mixing out there some. So he had a big double later in game 2, I think it was, and then he had a little slash in game 1, I think. But he looked good in that lineup. Henry Bauer, that was really my first longer in-game look at him this spring. He had a rocket in game 1, and then actually had a big squeeze play in game 2 for a run. Who else for them? Abney looked good. He had a hit in game 2. Nick Bombrowski started game 2. Gave up 3 early, which was surprising. Braden Milkwick ended up having 4 hits in game 2, but he had a big 2-out double that put them on the board early. And then Connor Ellis was awesome in the doubleheader. I think he had 3 hits. He looked really good. He was a guy we got to see at Camden County in the preseason. So he looked good over at first. First look back at Jacob Samus, since I got to see him last year in the GI AA state championship. Fun player, plays a lot of energy, got the start on the mound. Kind of been lingering. I think he had a lingering injury, but he gave it a go and hung in there. He was up to 93 at one point. And then who else? Pope, big game 2, Caden Campbell came up massive with a solo shot. I was looking back at the video that I had on the center field camera today, and you can hear it hitting off of those bleachers that they have out in left. Needless to say, it was a tank. So yeah, that was solo shot there. Kingston goes back to a triple to tie it 3-3. and then they ended up getting a big inning against Keegan Mathis. Mathis did come back in and settle in pretty good, but they ended up getting a couple more. I think that final ended up being 9-4 on that one. So Pope will travel to Hoko. That was Final Four last year when you went for Pope Hoko?
Yeah, that was Hoko at Pope. And then I want to say same thing 24, maybe? Or no? I mean, I feel like they've matched up every year, I feel like.
I think it was state championship in 24. Is that right?
I
Because
think
that was
both.
Burris. No, one year Stutcher's year. They were at Gwinnett playing because Stutcher led the game off with a triple. Can't remember what year that was, but yeah. So Pope will get to go to Hoko, Pope will go to Hoko now. So that should be quite electric. That'll kick off on Friday night. We'll definitely be there for that one in some way, shape, or form. That one will be a lot of fun. Good atmosphere there. So yeah, Elite Eight. Oh yeah, you went Saturday. How was that?
I went to Houston at Woodward.
Mm.
And Houston came out early, put up 2 runs. Raymond Bird hit a double, and then Isaiah Gallison drove him in. And then Gallison ended up scoring on a balk. And then another guy that looked good. Oh, it was a crazy game. So the final was Houston 8, Woodward 7. But Ethan Kinney for Houston looked good, had multiple hits. Tyson Gannis had a big double down the line. So yeah, it was 2-0, and then they tacked on another in the second inning. Caden Harvey, RBI single. This was, I think, my first in-game look at Harvey. Obviously, I've seen the showcase, but
Yep.
It kind of buy stock now type deal over there. Like he's a tone setter atop Gallison, and then you got guys like Odom and Bird that.
Yeah, and he's kind of picked the perfect time to be a freshman with that senior group with Gallison, Odom, Kinney, Bird, all those guys, like really kind of grooming Harvey to kind of be the next guy. You know, Burris did it with Gallison, and now it's kind of passing the torch. So, which they got a lot of young guys they're doing that with, and even a couple more on the way up for next year. So, yeah, I was the same way. I went down there for the coffee series and was the first looks at Harvey in game, and I was definitely feeling the same.
Yeah, and it's like
About it.
the mindset really stands out to me. Like he plays like a
Great
senior.
ABs.
Been there for like 4 years,
Yep, for sure.
But yeah, it was 3-0, and then Woodward got a little energy going there. Kalon Davis went backside.
I saw he went off the whole series, right?
Oh yeah, I think he had 2 bombs, couple extra base hits, but yeah, so that got it to 3-1, and then Miles Tate followed it up back to back, made it 3-2, and that's a kid that's really showed out for me this spring. I think this was my 3rd and 4th time seeing them.
What position was he playing?
He was DHing, but I've seen him play third this spring, first this spring. But
yeah,
he's a 4-star edge. It's like just silly athleticism there.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, it was 3-2, and then Caden Harvey again, another RBI single, 4-2. And then Keeler Edwards for Woodward came through with a 2-out RBI single to make it 4-3. So yeah, it was 4-3 going into the bottom of the 6th. Woodward loaded the bases with 2 outs, and then Miles Tate ripped a double down the line to make it 6-4. And then top half of the 7th, Woodward put up 4. It was Isaiah Gallison singled. No, Odom had an RBI double. Peyton Nouse had a big hit, and then Davion Hammonds had the go-ahead 2 RBI single.
Nice.
Bassett
was in there. Bassett.
Yeah,
was in there?
I was going to mention. So Bassett had George Bassett, freshman lefty for them, catcher. He was batting 9th. Does a good job of flipping the order.
Good swing. We saw it at Mercer. I really like the swing.
He really uses the whole field well, and the bat to balls there. Let me see who else.
I think who were you about to say? Hardy?
Norman?
Huh?
Spencer Norman. He had 3 hits for me. He's another one of those kids that's always for me this spring.
Yeah.
I want to say that's it.
Yeah, I mean, same thing with Woodward. Shout out Woodward. We were high on that lineup coming into the year, and they made a run. I guess that's back to back years that they've made the Elite Eight, or no, made the Sweet 16 last year. Creekview got them. But yeah, stringing some good seasons together over there. Graham Wrecker. You
Yeah,
said
I thought I was going to
yeah,
mention Graham. I was really impressed with him.
yeah. He played. I like the way he
It's
played.
looked really good all spring. It's the blocking behind the plate stands out. It's a quiet setup from the right side. It's super short. Really can hit the ball to all like line to line with authority. The approach stands out. Like I just another one of those kids that I'll be wanting to follow throughout the summer and so on.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's speaking of catchers. Abney and Morneau were pretty much lights out back there against Glenn. Abney had a sweet back pick to first base for a strike him out, throw him out to end one of the innings. So fun little duo there. Nice to have those guys giving each other rest. Both obviously big at the plate for those guys. Big Ben Hill did have a leadoff barrel to get things going. I figure I had to mention him. Ben Hill's your guy. Hit all 4 doubles that day for you.
Oh yeah, and he just a little spark plug, brings the energy.
Yeah. And funny enough, I text Stutzer that I was there, whatever. He's like, let me know how they do. And dude, you got Ben Hill walking like Stutzer coming up to the plate. You got Jensen Morneau walking like Stutzer. Wimbush is literally Stutzer 2.0. Even the backswing now they have, how Stutzer does the come around. I think he hit another bomb last night against Clemson backside. So, yeah, fun players to watch over there, especially Wimbush. He had a line out to center, and then he had a little kind of two strike single, kind of flipped it over shortstop's head, but still same thing. Got on the bags, made some stuff happen. I think he forced a balk one of the times and rolled into second and then stole third. So just a fun player to watch. So that's gonna be exciting to get down to Hoko. We might three of us might be fighting over that one since it got moved up to Friday, with I guess graduation Monday maybe. So we'll one of us will be there. But yeah, outside of that, anything Elite Eight before we jump into some of these Final Four matchups real quick?
I think I'm all good there.
Yeah. All right. Well, I did not get the graphics loaded in, but we'll just go through these. 1A Division 2, you got Lanier versus Baconton, ECI versus Charlton. I think it's in that class. It's always been a crash course of Lanier and Charlton, but you get a team like Baconton in the mix. They can swing it a little bit. We got out to see those guys earlier in the year. And then ECI, team we haven't got to see this year, but we have seen those guys in the past down in Savannah as well. So it looks like Charlton will have to travel down there, or no? Charlton's 2 seed now, so ECI will come up.
And I think Lanier's going to chance to.
No, they'll be at ECI. They'll be at ECI. Sorry, what'd you say?
I think Lanier's got a chance to. I think it'll be 3-peat if they were to do it.
Yeah, they've been doing it for a while. So yeah, those will be fun to check out. 1A Division 1, you got Gordon Lee versus Worth, and then Bleckley versus Vidalia. Gordon Lee, Bleckley, and Vidalia kind of hung out in the top 5 pretty much all year for us. Worth kind of hovered in that kind of 5 to 7 range, but having a guy like Avery Kilcrease putting up the numbers that he's put up this spring have been pretty silly. So he'll be leading the charge for those guys. So that'll be some good matchups there. I didn't get out to see Bleckley, but we have had guys see them, and they're really well put together. But yeah, fun little Vidalia team led by Veer and Caden Ridge Nance. I wonder if you think Brantley went game 3 for them. I haven't looked. I meant to go back and look.
Yeah, I haven't looked. I would assume so.
Banks Hopkins went game 2, and then Patel went game 1. I'm assuming Hopkins came back the next day after the delay, but I meant to go back and look at that.
Yeah, that's been a kid that I saw 2 falls ago.
Banks,
and I was pretty bullish on it then. I don't know.
Yeah, he moves well. He threw really well up at Lake Point for Dugout Club. 2A, we got Pierce versus Cook, Morgan County versus Franklin County. That is a rematch of the Final Four for Franklin and Morgan from last year. So, tensions will be high there for sure. Franklin will travel to Morgan just like they did last year. So that place will be That place will be rocking. Funny enough, did I tell you about the Stevens County series? Obviously, you saw it with the walk-off grand slam,
Push Strickland, yeah.
but didn't realize it. But Stevens County was up 3-0, had 2 strikes on the kid and 2 outs with nobody on base in that game, and Morgan County ended up coming back on that one. I know that was 2 weeks ago, but
Yeah.
still, that's
silly.
That some crazy chances on that one. So yeah, they're on a roll. Franklin's jumped back in the mix, and then Cook put together a really good year. Beat Redan 5-2 and 4-0. So they'll look to take on Pierce. They'll head down there as well. Pierce was the 1 seed coming in.
Yeah, and they're 2 familiar opponents. They're in the same region.
Oh yeah,
so they know each other really well. And then Cook goes there, so I think it would be a pretty hostile environment again.
yeah. That anytime you match up in a region like that,
Oh, yeah.
that's gonna be fun. 3A, we got Troop versus Peach, and then Pickens versus Calhoun. Kind of same thing here. Troop, Pickens, and Peach hung out in the top 3, top 4, top 5 for us pretty much all year. North Hall fluctuated up and down. Troop ended up getting the win, 2-1 win in game 2 over them. So they'll match up with each other. Peach will travel there, and then Pickens will travel to Calhoun. I guess
that one's gonna get rowdy for sure, especially being right next to each other. And it feels like Ian said it before. It feels like you're in a cage.
Yeah, with that stadium. And Calhoun is they've always been a staple in the state, just always having a really, really good program. And not that they had any crazy down years by any means, but they just haven't been, I think, where they wanted to be. But obviously they got things rolling, and yeah, well, obviously you'll probably take that one. Still anxious to see that Calhoun lineup and that rotation. You get Baxter, Peak, and Xander, which is a really, really fun 1-2-3 punch kind of, depending on how it does. And then you'll get AJ and I guess Starks probably game 2, and then Everett game 3, and maybe they'll take it game by game. Think any funny business will go down with the matchups, or you think we know who we're going to
get? I guess we'll see.
Yeah. So yeah, that one will be a lot of fun. We'll. I'm pegging that one goes 3. But we'll see. 4A, we got Kell versus Cartersville. Fun matchup. 2 teams that, like we said, fluctuated, had their losses, but against quality opponents. So they're battle tested for sure. Shout out St. Pius, kind of having the year that they had, taking Cartersville to 3 games. And then if Ian was on here, I'm sure he'd give Gianni Gandhi a shout out for the walk-off against those guys. So big swing from him. And then Benedictine versus North Oconee. North Oconee will travel down there. I'm sure they will travel well. Benedictine's put together a heck of a year. Ian was down there for all of those, right? Yeah, all of those games.
Thursday and Friday.
Yep. And so, yeah, he saw some exciting ones there. Cambridge kind of went up on them early in game 3, and then Benedictine battled back and had some really big swings from, I think, Noah Harris, Omari Burse, Kai Hernandez, Gamble. I think all had some big swings there. So that'll be a fun matchup. I think depending on how that one goes, we might try to make something work if it goes 3. So we still got some time to decide on that one. 5A, we got Hoko versus Pope that we talked about. Pope travels down there. And then Brunswick versus Loganville. Kind of same thing here with the 5A. We talked about these guys at the top with Hoko, Pope, and Loganville being the staple of the 5A. And Brunswick's in there to try to disrupt some things. So we'll see how that one goes. It's going to be electric down in Warner Robins with Pope traveling down. So that one's going to be a lot of fun. 6A, we have Carrollton versus Etowah and Parkview versus North Paulding. North Paulding edged out Buford in 2 one-run games in that series. So, and then now Parkview, Cherokee takes them 3 games. Shout out Cherokee, the 4 seed, making the run that they made. Heck of a year for them. I mean, same thing for Parkview. We had those guys in the top 10 early on in the year. And then, they lost their fair share of games, but to quality opponents. And sure enough, they're right where they want to be at the end of the year. So big stuff, good stuff there for them. What do you think on this Carrollton Etowah series? I know you've seen Carrollton.
Yeah,
We've seen Carrollton a lot. This is a rematch, right, against the Richmond Hill.
I mean, I saw Carrollton Etowah at what, like if you want to call it Battle of Bartow.
Oh, I forgot they did play there. Did they play at
Yeah.
Richmond Hill too, or no?
I don't possibly,
No, I can't remember.
but yeah, I saw Carrollton. They really hit when they played Ottawa. Kind of lived up for the moment. And they're coming off of what, a 3-game series win against Mill Creek.
Yep. And yeah, I mean, same. Shout out Mill Creek making the run that they made.
But yeah, I mean, they're for Carrollton. They're just gonna have to keep hitting, get quality pitching.
Yeah,
but
we talked about the lineup earlier in the year. I mean, really to kick off the year. Honestly, I think what we had them. I was trying to look. I think we had them in the Power 25 to kick the year off, and I mean, same thing. They play a lot of good teams. They got a crazy lineup. Carson Heath has been pitching it really well. Who's their other guy on the mound? Bishop?
Opperman?
Yeah, and then who am I thinking
Gunnar
of?
Falcon's been big on the mound for them.
Yeah, Gunnar.
But I mean, they have 4 or 5 guys that have done it for multiple years. Leaders on the team, Caleb Hudson.
Yeah, Moody.
Yeah, Evan Moody, Gunnar Falcon.
Yep, heavy senior group. So that one's gonna be fun. High powered, I imagine. I think Carrollton's a lineup that can hit some velo. Obviously, Sharm and Curcio got much more than just velo, so we'll see how they navigate those guys. But that's gonna be a fun series. And then last one, private. We're locked in for this one, of course. You guys know we love some private matchups. We got Kings Ridge, Holy Innocents, Wesleyan versus North Cobb Christian. Pretty much our top 3 teams pretty much all year in Kings Ridge, Wesleyan, and North Cobb Christian. And then Holy Innocents hung out in that kind of 4 or 5 range pretty much all year. Any takes on this one? These are 4 high-powered offenses. Yeah. I would say, if I'm throwing a pitching leaning one way or another, I think I'm throwing it to Holy Innocents just with Chase, Amari, and Bryce in kind of that rotation. But any private takes here? I know we've seen all 4 of these teams a ton.
Yeah, I mean, I would any given night, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean,
I hope we get Fitch versus McCullum.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Because Fitch has turned into an ace, and obviously McCullum's been their ace. And then
shout out Spencer Wood for Kings Ridge. I saw he won, I think, pitcher of the year in that. I could be wrong here.
I think I saw that too.
But he did really well when I saw him against Landmark through a complete game. Let me see. Let me double check that.
Yeah, that one's at Kings Ridge.
Pitcher of the year, all region.
Park plays pretty big, and then North Cobb is at North Cobb, right? Yeah. So yeah, that offense is just hard to bet against for North Cobb Christian, but I mean, you look at Wesleyan and they're really, really similar. You got guys that Carter Hayes is having a outlandish year, and Bryce Gillis with 2 guys is kind of their Bash Bros versus Bruce and who else? I mean, Tambora's hit them, JD's hit them, Brody Brandt's had a couple as of late. Truett, Stafford, same way. So yeah, those are going to be a lot of fun games. Holy Innocents, Kings. I don't even know what's Kings Ridge rotation like after Spencer. Who else are they throwing?
KJ Mayfield, Jack Brantner.
Yeah, Mayfield's the sophomore, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then I think Markakis threw that day I was there.
Phillips could probably throw a little bit too.
Yeah. So yeah, those
they're
are
a hungry group for sure.
Yeah,
especially with guys like
they've gotten put out.
Skogorski.
Yeah, they've gotten put out a couple years when they thought they were going to have a chance at it. I think they went down somewhere that year. What year was that? I guess probably sophomore year, when they had the kid that went to West Florida. I don't know if you saw him, but they had a shot then. So yeah, like you said, they're going to be hungry for
That
sure.
was what Tallulah that year
I think so.
with Rope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. I think that was that year for sure. So yeah, Final Four is here. Final Four is kicking off on some Wednesday, most Thursday, and then those 5A, 6As are mostly Saturday. I think I did see Loganville, I think was going Friday too. I think I saw that against Brunswick. Need a double check on that one, but I'm pretty sure that they're Friday as well. So yeah, any changes like that, keep us posted. I think weather-wise, I think we should be A-okay. I think nothing crazy, it looks like. Starting to get hot towards the end of the week, but yeah, we should have some good weather for some playoff baseball. Summer will be here before we know it. Top prospect games are pretty much sold out. Teams are getting made. 28s are on the 2nd. 29s are on the 3rd. We do still have 29 spots. Just with the way we did that, it does show sold out. I didn't plan on setting it up this way, but it just kind of worked out with the age groups. I decided to do it that way. So any 29s you see your position sold out, just reach out. We'll get you in there. I'll open it up. And then yeah, upper class is turning into a awesome event. I'm already reaching out to coaches, sending out that roster to try to get as many coaches there as possible. That one will be the 9th, right after MPI. Yeah, summer's starting to get here. If guys switching teams, let us know who you're playing with. Let us know when you're playing up at Lake Point. We're going to be in and out the first weekend. If you're up there for the state games, we're going to be at Gwinnett Stripers. We're going to be at Rome. We're going to be at Columbus. And then there's going to be some people with prep baseball logos running around, the interns getting trial by fire there at Lake Point while we're out finishing.
How was that? Yeah, when I was at Woodward, the Westlake boys were there, and it was like Elias and SJ, and they were like, "You're gonna be at state games?" I'm like, "Well, I'll probably be at the state championship, but we'll see."
Yeah. So
it's just crazy.
Sorry, summer ball guys. We are prioritizing the state championship. We didn't go to 300 games for nothing. We're not missing the state championship. That's the best games of the year. So yeah, we'll be back out there eventually. I think there's potentially that we even miss some of the next. Or no, I think it's over with the 27th, anyways. But yeah, Showdown, we'll be back out there, and then MPI, we're obviously there. Georgia guys got to represent in MPI. Cougs have been the team for us in the past, but yeah, need some guys to step up again this year and represent at MPI. So outside of that, I think that's it. Make sure you check out the other episodes on YouTube. We'll have our recaps coming out. We'll have Scout Blog from Elite Eight coming out tomorrow. That thing should be pretty beefed up with the guys that we saw. Some new names. I saw, a couple sophomores that I liked at Glenn, freshmen at West Lawrence I really liked on the mound. So we'll all that'll be in that Scout Blog. But yeah, outside of that, appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll get out maybe where we're going Tuesday. We'll throw that up like we have in the past, and yeah, shout out Tucker for getting out to Troop and to Parkview for kind of the game of the day. He's our content, media, photo, video guy. So that's who you see on the Instagram out there. Let us know where he needs to be at. He's chasing the atmosphere and the big time clip. So yeah, we'll see where he's going to get out to. But appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll see you out there on Wednesday or Thursday.
Let's have a week.